The AFC, I think, I don't want to say a lot of paper tigers, but outside of Buffalo, there's a lot of teams that you just kind of say, well, you've never really proven it to me.
Right.
In the playoffs, outside of Buffalo. And even for Buffalo, obviously they have their hurdle that they have to get to. But I think the next way I want to turn this conversation is my mea culpa and my kind of immediate put my hands up. I would say the second biggest story behind Phillip Rivers of last weekend was the Kansas City Chiefs being eliminated for the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career, and then obviously his ACL injury at the end that really complicates things as well going forward. They are eliminated. And then also, the return of old man Rivers. Unbelievable. Obviously, the numbers aren't going to jump out at you, but they were very close to taking down a very good Seattle team in Seattle. But Raider Jim, any thoughts on those or any other thoughts that we saw from last week?
God bless Phillip Rivers. What can you say? He got out there. He was still fired up. He was still doing his shtick out there, which was good. I thought it was very amusing. Some of the professionals that do what we do, but the guys that get paid big money and all that. And I heard somebody on the radio this week saying, oh yeah, but it was great to see him out there. Boy, he was slinging it and this blah, blah, blah. And I looked back at the stats and it's like his long pass was 17 yards.
Yeah.
And that was probably a 6-yard completion and the dude busted off 11. So, I don't know that you could say he was slinging it. Slinging it to me means you're going 35, 50 yards down the field. And then you can say slinging it. However, he kept him in the game, and doggone the defense. The Colts defense was doing a job. Field goals. Are you kidding me? You lose on 6 field goals? Oh my gosh. Felt very, very bad for them. The Kansas City Chiefs, you and I were saying it all along. Well, one of us was saying it all.
Yeah. I appreciate that, but I'm doing my mea culpa here in a few minutes.
But what a terrible thing to see happen. I had said last year even, excuse me, and again this year, Travis Kelce is looking a little too much like Antonio Gates did at the end of his career. Don't go out looking sad. Just go out. Leave it alone. Find a new tight end. Hopefully Mahomes comes back. Now his was ACL, correct?
So when I said ACL, it may be MCL. It's not as... So they do expect him to possibly be ready for week 1. It will be how much time has he been given in terms of the preparation, but it's not, again, I know the PCL is the most minor of them.
Right.
And then I believe MCL is kind of the mid, and then ACL is and I believe he is MCL, but again, I can actually check that real quick, but you can continue.
Yeah. But it's just a shame to see this. And it's, wow. I can't imagine having your team in the playoffs that many seasons in a row. And all of a sudden you talk about culture shock and rude awakenings all wrapped up into one, but there it is. Wow. That's life in the AFC West. What can I say? Who'd have thought? And I didn't think. And I saw people who said, Broncos going to win this thing. Oh, Broncos, they're not going to win it. Yes, they did.
Yep. Incredible. So just looking at it now, so I might have gotten that wrong. I'm sure there are plenty of people just screaming at their devices right now. So it is a torn ACL, and this is of course according to Google. So put the caveat there, but torn ACL in his left knee. Now, it also does say the Chiefs are optimistic about Mahomes' recovery, but the timeline for his return is uncertain, with estimates suggesting it could take anywhere from a month to 9 months. So I don't know. A month seems a little ridiculous to me. That might be for just someone who's working from home, but maybe not someone who's playing quarterback. But I don't think it's a situation to where we are going to have to, question who is going to be starting, a large portion of next year for Kansas City. And even as someone who, I don't want to say I'm a Kansas City hater, but I mean, look, they beat my team in the Super Bowl, and no one really likes dynasties unless you're a part of it. I don't want to see anyone get hurt ever. And I want Patrick Mahomes in. I want the best players in because above all, I'm a football fan. And yeah, I all season I was the person who every shadow I said, nope, it's the Chiefs. They're coming. They're coming. And I finally got the coroner's report this past Sunday. It was notarized. I checked it twice. I got my lawyer to look at it, his lawyer to look at it, his uncle to look at it, and everyone gave me the green light. So I am officially ready to say the Chiefs are dead. And it's an interesting situation now going forward in the AFC, because even when the Patriots were kind of doing their thing, the Broncos would sneak in, or the Colts, well, whatever team Manning was on would sneak in, or maybe Flacco and the Ravens would sneak in. But I mean, this is what, 5 straight years of the Chiefs representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. And I mean, that's incredible in itself, incredible changing of the guard. But to kind of bring it back to old man Rivers, and you're right, slinging it. Now, I think a lot of what it is, it's the way he throws the ball. The first thing you do want to say is slinging it, because it really is what he does with that kind of quirky windup. But I think for someone who literally, 7 days earlier was, I don't want to say, it's more of the pejorative, sitting on the couch. I can't imagine Philip Rivers was just sitting on his couch, eating Doritos, watching Red Zone. But, again, figuratively, he was off on the sideline, didn't have any, thoughts about this. Now, apparently, a big part of this is he's very good friends with Shane Steichen. And Philip Rivers actually runs pretty much the same offense at his high school that the Colts do. So obviously a lot of familiarity. I don't know. I just thought it was really cool. I love Philip Rivers. I think, the biggest fault you can have on the man is he tries a little too hard. I'll live with that in the world of what we see in the NFL, right, and some of the people and personalities we see. I loved his quote after the game. He even kind of got a little emotional. Someone asked him, are you doing this to inspire your kids, or your high school kids, or your actual kids? And he said, I'm not, but it was really, he said, if it does, that's really cool to kind of show them that, I might fail, but if you don't try, you definitely will fail. As Michael Scott said, you miss 99% or 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky. Anyways, but yeah, I loved it. I loved to see Philip back. I wanted them to win so badly. I will say, I think they played it way too conservatively.
Yes.
At the end, they just they got the first down, and it was a hell of a kick by Groupie, I think. But they picked up the first down. I think they ran it 3 straight times, or first down incompletion, and then back-to-back runs. Left, I think, a little too much time out there, and kickers these days, there seem to be just completely automatic from 50 and beyond. So would have been really cool to see. I'd love to see Philip in the playoffs. Big one for him this week, but we all get to see him on Monday night, so that's kind of cool. We're staring down. With all due respect to Riley Leonard, I prefer to watch Philip Rivers. No matter what he's going to give me, I don't know. I love it. But with that, I want to say
he was within, I want to say, 1 to 2 weekends prior, he had his team in the state championship game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, no, you're right. You said it. He wasn't just sitting around. I mean, because I can imagine his intensity as a coach.
Oh, yeah.
It must be off the charts, which in a positive way. He's not the scream and get in the kid's face. He's very encouraging, I'm sure. Awesome. So, and that was the second year in a row. Hats off to Coach Rivers, because that was the second year in a row, apparently, that they had gone to the state final. Unfortunately, lost both times. But wow, that's one of those things. You're getting there. You're doing something right.
And I believe I think it was this year, or if not this year, then it was last year. But I do believe his son is the quarterback there. I believe it's Gunner. Yeah, just, I don't know. It's a great story. And obviously, we feel for Daniel Jones. But again, I'd like to see Daniel Jones still out there, but that's not the case. And for Phillip, what an opportunity. Like he said, to just kind of go out and see if he's still got it. And you know what? I don't think anyone's going to pull him up next year to see if he can play a whole year for him, but I think he can figure something out for the next few weeks. And I'm excited to see how it goes. So